children, it's Angelina, and guess where I am today? I'm at the Wiki Wiki Worm Ranch. Come with me, I can't wait to show you what I've discovered. I've brought my compost along. We'll see what we can find. Here we are at the headquarters of the Wiki Wiki Worm Ranch with
the fabulous Ned Self, the head wormologist of the Wiki Wiki Worm Ranch.
and my godfather. What's that, Ned?
That's compost. Because the worms really like to eat it, and they really like to turn it into fertilizer that goes in your garden and makes your plants go. And you can see this is pretty well broken down. So when the wormies get a hold of it, boy, do they like it.
That smells so bad, you guys. I had to leave the location. It stinks.
So the thing about the smell is that it's anaerobic bacteria. So it doesn't get enough oxygen to the bacteria. And then that's what makes it stinky and smelly. If you just kept stirring it up all the time, it really wouldn't have any smell. And once we feed it to the worms, it doesn't have any smell. Now, the most important thing to remember about raising your worms is the 3 Ds: damp, dark, and dinner. It's time for dinner, because there is nothing that worms like better than dinner, much like myself. This is called coconut coir. It's basically ground up coconuts. Yum! I love that! Let's see.
I don't want any of that for dinner, you guys.
Should we speculate about what it was? Looks like we got some banana peels and some eggshells and some corn and some okra and maybe some squash and some papaya and some celery. Yeah, now we got some food in there. Let's mix this all up some more too. Okay, so we're gonna put a little water in here, just so things are nice and tasty.
Does that look good, you guys? Do you want that for dinner?
Yum! So basically we just take the lid off. So you can see, this is all done. This is all, there's nothing left here. It's just dirt. And it started out just like this. So we're just gonna feed this right to these guys right now. And we'll come back, in maybe a week, and they will have eaten it all up, and you won't be able to see any of the food. It'll all be gone. So we've got damp, we've got dinner. Let's make it dark. Charles Darwin once said that every bit of good dirt on the planet once went through an earthworm, at least once. And that is probably true, because there's a lot of earthworms out there in the ground. If you go out and dig in your backyard, you're going to see a lot of them. And so the earthworms are absolutely vital to growing the plants. Worms are always want to move to the surface. That's where all the worm food is, and that's why they always want to go up. There's Wilbur. He's one of my favorites.
Wilbur is trying to get back to his people. He's like, where's dinner? Dinner! Dinner!
Where's the dark? I don't like it out here.
And damn.
You're probably asking yourself, well, how do we get rid of all those worms? All those worms are in there with all the dirt. We want the dirt, because that's a good part we want in the garden, but we want the worms to stay here and have dinner and keep making more of the stuff. So how do we do that? Well, you can see how these little things are made out of trays, and the bottom of the tray is all full of holes. And so what happens is when this fills up, and if there's no more room to put any worms on there, we put a new bin on top of it, and we start feeding in that bin. And all the worms come up and go, oh, look at that, look at that. See how we got all these different layers down here? Mm-hmm. Let's go and look at this one.
Let's see, do you guys think that's dirt? What do you guess? Is it dirt or is it worms? Oh, this is heavy. Oh, wow, look at all that dirt. I see a few worms.
Well, there's a few worms still, but not very many.
Oh, the garden. Look at that, you guys. The garden would be so happy to have all that good dirt.
So you can see there's hardly any worms in here, and you can't even tell what it was. There's no paper, there's no vegetables, there's no stinky, there's nothing.
So this has to dry because you can't put it into a bag for your garden when it's wet like that. It'll get moldy. Yuck. So we're gonna let this dry.
This is called leachate, and this is just the liquid form of the worm casting.
This stuff makes the plants grow. Awesome!
So after we have it in the drying bins and we stir it up and we break it up and make it all clumpy or whatever, we finish up and...
Oh, wow, look at those worm castings, you guys. You guys can help your gardens and our planet by making some worm castings of your own. Instead of spraying it on your plants, you can just sprinkle it around the soil, till it in, and everything is happier. How amazing was that? Now, I bet you're not going to think about worms the same way the next time you see them growing in the yard. Stay curious and full of wonder. I'll see you back soon.